Hi, everyone. I am sitting here ready to listen to Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. And this is, as you know, the second piece of music by Queen that I have paid attention to. It's been a long time coming. And finally, the moment is here. And I've read so many comments and things that you've said about this piece, and it's one of a kind. It's incredible, and all these different things you've said about it. I'm curious to see what exactly it is, and so I guess I'm just going to dive in and start listening, and we'll see how things develop.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor.
Already listening to the voice, it's taking me back to the first song I listened to, Love of My Life. I recognized the voice and the expressiveness of it that impressed me so much in that first exposure. And here I already hear it again, where every note is being shaped, and you hear the music moving as it goes. And I'm also interested because the first song I heard was pretty much just a solo voice, if I remember correctly. It's been several months and a lot has gone on between. But I think I remember that it was primarily just a solo voice. And now here, I hear that it's done in a more of a vocal ensemble opening. But it's still very nice. And I love the complex harmonies that are showing up here. They're not just I've heard enough music to know that not everybody pays attention to melodic writing and harmonic progressions and all of this. And suddenly we're back to this sort of music where it's not just the harmonies, it's not just the melodies, it's not just the rhythms. Everything is meshed together and intertwined. And again, I find that very musically satisfying and rewarding to listen to. I may have trouble with this piece because I'll have to decide, do I want to listen to it all the way and then go back? Or do I want to just say in the moment what comes to mind? You're probably going to see me struggle a bit. I see it already coming up here. So, let's continue.
Look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy. Because I'm easy come, easy go. Little high, little low. Anyway the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. To me. Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my
wow.
trigger.
It's just great the way this music is going in a way that carries you with it. And there's so much that has happened already in this short little bit that I've listened to. It shifts from this vocal ensemble opening, and then there's this solo voice that comes in, and then the piano is building its little figure, which kind of is, I feel like, it said anyway the wind blows back here somewhere. And there was that little sound effect of wind blowing. But then the piano kind of took over that idea of wind blowing. Ya da dum bum, da da dum bum, and it's developing into an accompaniment figure that probably I expect will morph and develop into something else. But in this moment, it's keeping this idea of the wind blowing freely, layered on top of this new thing that's coming in. Mama, I just killed a man. Put a gun to his head. That's such a... it's like there's this conflict of ideas being stacked in here. And anyway, I need to keep going.
Put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, ooh.
The music is shaping and reshaping as it goes, and this concept of I've just killed a man, and not just accidentally, I shot him, and this realization, this admission that I've thrown my whole life away. It's like he's perfectly aware of it, but at the same time, it's presented in such a lullaby style, like soothing, trying to reassure, like this young person is telling his mama, it's my problem, it's not your problem. You had nothing to do with this. I don't blame you for it. You didn't raise me wrong or anything. Please just be okay. I'll deal with whatever I've done. It's not presented in a very dramatic, conflicted, emotionally intense manner. Well, you hear emotional intensity, but it's not the sort of just earth-shattering, destructive moment. Musically, you hear some distress in the voice, of course, but it's like keeping some of that out of the music makes us feel it even more powerfully. Sometimes the unspoken is louder than the spoken, and I hear the music doing this here. It's keeping itself back and reserved, and it's not, while it's developing and shifting with the changing, with the progression of the story at the same time. I feel like it's doing so in a very refined, understated manner, and it allows the unspoken to be elevated in our consciousness. And that little bit of chromaticism in the piano there after the end of that phrase. It's so... It feels lonely, but not lonely as in nobody's around. Lonely as in... It's reflecting this sense of loss that... Again, it's unspoken in the lyrics. It says, come on, don't cry, please. It's like this person knows that what he's done is just the worst thing ever. And all he's thinking about is, how can he ease things for his mama? How can he break the news to his mama? What can he do here? And then how can he reassure her? How can he not let this hurt her? And he knows it's going to hurt her. And then, of course, he's helpless to change things because he already did the deed. Carry on as if nothing really mattered. I mean, really, does he really believe that she can do that? But what else can he say? And the piano here is taking that sense of loss, of emptiness, abandonment, in this very sweet way. You get the sense that this is a very sweet, loving child who's maybe done something really impulsively, maybe under the influence of something. Maybe he was experimenting and he had no evil intentions. You don't feel like this is an evil person, and yet here they are. And if we listen to this piano here, you can hear. Let's just back up a little bit.
Nothing really matters. Too late, my time has come. Sent shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama.
Did you hear that there? That voice? And it suddenly confirmed what I was thinking about this piano, that the piano is carrying on this the way the wind blows idea. And suddenly, just before we begin to doubt whether that's still the meaning of it, the voice comes in and reminds us that that's what the piano is saying.
Sometimes wish I'd never been.
Oops, sorry. Let me back up here a little bit.
I don't wanna die.
But of course, there's this other thing going on here. Now, he's not reassuring his mama. It's more like the realization of the seriousness of his situation is finally beginning to sink in, and now he's saying, I don't want to die. And he knows that that's what he's just done.
I don't wanna die. Sometimes wish I'd never been born at
The cardinal sin of stopping in the middle of the guitar solo. But right here, I'm hearing the guitar singing a musical figure which just came earlier. Let me see if I can find it in the score. There might be some other musical moments also that it's alluding to, but I remember where it said, carry on, carry on. And now, if we go down several pages to where we just were in the music, in the guitar solo, it's as if the guitar now is now saying the same little idea. Carry on, carry on, carry on.
silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, will you do the fan?
Okay, that was a rather abrupt change. Here I was all into this tragic story, and now what's going on? This sounds like a bit of a comedy show or something. Well, I should listen a bit more and see really where it's going here. A little silhouette of a man. Okay?
I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Figaro. Magnifico! I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from this monstrosity. Easy come.
This is so interesting. I'm not exactly sure what to make of it, but it sounds like it's kind of quoting from some or parodying some classical opera style music here. Even this Figaro. I mean, what is this, Mozart? It's funny. It's ironic. It's kind of a strange sense of humor to insert that in this moment here. Like still, this hasn't really sunk in. Or is this somebody's dream that they were having, and then they woke up, or maybe the dream shifted to something else? It's okay. But now it's kind of taking us back to this from a different perspective. A poor boy from a poor family. Spare him his life. Did this jump ahead a ways in the story? Where did it go? It's unexpected. All right, I'm going to keep listening here and see what happens.
Loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Bismillah, no, we will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah, we will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah, we will not let you go. Let me go. We'll not let you go. Let me go. We'll not let you go. Let me go. Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia. Mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me. For me. For me.
Oh boy. Okay. So far, what we have is kind of almost two separate pieces of music. The first one, which I kind of took my time getting through, and now this one I'm a little bit disoriented, I have to admit, and I'm trying to figure out, should I be thinking of it in connection to the first portion of the music, or should I take it standing on its own? Or how is it going to develop? It's very theatrical here. Very theatrical. And it's playing with the ideas. It's not taking them seriously. Okay, it's begging for his life, and it's saying this is a catastrophe and all of those things, and it's using expressions, kind of exclamations, everything from Bismillah to Mamma Mia to whatever else it's saying. But it doesn't seem to be taking it seriously at all. Okay, well, that's kind of where it stands at the moment. And then we get into this. It sounded like it was just shifting into a more rock style, aggressive mode. So I'm going to back up a little bit.
For me, for me. So you think you can stop me and spit in my eye? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out of here.
Nice harmonic ascent there. Listen to that happening. Stepping up. Nice. And there's the piano again. It's kind of recalling a little bit of the opening. A little bit reformatted, but it sounds like the vocals at the opening a little bit. I guess there's even a voice in there.
Nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me. Anyway, the wind blows.
Okay. You're right. There is so much that happens, and I guess I'm going to have to listen a few times more to really start to orient myself and get my bearings, so to speak. But it's an interesting piece of music. It is. It feels theatrical. I can hear why you say it's kind of like opera, because there are certainly some very operatic moments. It also feels very classical. And this takes me back to my first impression when I first listened to Love of My Life. And I remember that I was listening to the piano and the way he handled the piano. And I couldn't help but think of the classical era. And right now I'm not speaking in general terms, the word classical, like we often use it, meaning the Western art music in general. I'm speaking of the classical era, which is Haydn, Mozart, Clementi, Beethoven, and all of those other composers in that particular time frame. And among those, I hear so much influence of Mozart's melodic approach. And, well, I could go on about my opinions about Mozart for a long time, both good and bad, and the way that people handle his music, both good and bad. But I won't get sidetracked right here. All I'm going to say is that he has a very lyrical, classical, musical style. Not Mozart, but Freddie. And I remember now, when I was doing my research back for the first one, I remember reading that he had taken classical piano through, not a really high level, but he had a classical foundation. And I know that some of the other bands and performers that I've listened to have also had classical backgrounds and exposures. But it seems like Freddie Mercury and Queen, these two pieces that I've heard, are very unashamed of their classical influence. And they're not trying to go off and create something brand new and cut new ground from nothing. They're taking all of this wonderful material and reshaping it for their own purposes. And it's so effective. It works so well. Even though this piece is has so many different styles in it, it doesn't feel patched together. Maybe I will talk about why in the in-depth portion, because that is a sign of somebody who really knows what they're doing, and they know how to handle the different elements and give us this fabulous wide variety. At the same time, we're not left scrambling for something to hold on to. We're not searching to figure out, how does this fit? It's easy on our ears. I don't mean easy in the way that it's just easy listening. I mean that the transitions and the way we move from one section to another are very well crafted. And the things that link the sections, not just within the transitions, but the different parts themselves, there are elements there that are incredibly well handled. And that's what makes it what it is. I'm eager to look into this and listen to it more and dive into the score a bit, see what else I can find in it. I'm sure I'll find some more things, possibly entertaining and funny, possibly also really unique, maybe even some serious things. I don't know, but I'll spend some time. And you'll see that link here. But I guess to wrap up this first listen, I guess I would like to go back and listen through the entire piece, Unbroken, before finishing. So, here we go.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy, I need no sympathy, because I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. To me. Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Figaro. Magnifico! I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Bismillah, no, we will not let you go. Let him go! Bismillah, we will not let you go. Let him go! Bismillah, we will not let you go. Let me go! We'll not let you go. Let me go! We'll not let you go. Never let me go! Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia! Mamma mia, let me go! Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me.
Yeah, I have some things to explore there. I even got a few other ideas as I was listening the second time through. Things like maybe this is someone looking back on an experience, or maybe it's the way they imagine such an experience might be, or maybe it's all symbolic of something. I guess there are lots of ways it could be taken, but I have some room to explore and a few days to do it, so I'll see you here and you can find out what I discovered.